But yeah, we're gonna be starting single pull for the win. Nice. I will say in particular, let's see for sure. I think you need to chill the fuck out. It has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. Yep. In fact, they actually released like a plushie or something that you can buy for it. But initially here, we're gonna just be running through what we've gotten through so far, which is not a lot. But getting through this should be relatively easy. They've actually been barfing out a lot of random stuff. So let's get started. So the idea right now is that we're gonna try to get through what we've done already, and then just start pushing through the rest of the story.
Massive stone towers
Oh yeah.
pierce an empty sky. This enormous structure is called the Cage.
Yes, it is the mobile game. Which takes like one of my favorite concepts, which is the weapon stories and stuff, and just turns it into a whole ass game.
Until she has what she desires.
I think in terms of where the dialogue shows up, like the boxes should be okay. So, we were talking about it yesterday, and I think I was in Bigsby's stream. I don't know where he got the info for it, mostly because I'm trying not to look at the wiki or anything, but it seems like it might be implied that this happens either way after Automata or in a different dimension, kind of like how the Accords go to different dimensions or timelines. I'll also say that, like, this one's a little bit more linear than most, since it's a more typical, mobile game kind of format. So outside of finding a couple, like, offhand, like, crows or anything to shoo away, it's not a lot of extra stuff to find. It's mostly just dealing with the encounters and stuff as we go along. Yeah, she does. It's just strapped to her back. But also, even from what I've seen so far, there's some interesting, like, implications for there actually being, like, humans and stuff here. Unless this is, like, some weird dream world shit going on. And to a certain extent, that might actually be the case. But yeah, the presentation's about as much as you'd expect from a Yoko Taro game. Ma, what are you doing in there?
Well, look who's finally up.
Great choices.
Oh dear. So you did lose your voice after all. Don't worry. Mama's here to help. This way. You've lost more than just your voice. But I'm sure you already know that, don't you?
So right out of the gate, there's always these implications that, like, even though we lost our memory, Mama knows a lot of things
You
about
lost
us.
so much. But the time has come to reclaim it. Life will be much harder if you can't speak after all. These stairs are the entrance to your prison. A place known as...
The cage. Might want to lift this up and make us a bit smaller here. Maybe not that small. That's kind of in the way of the subtitles, huh? There we go. Let's get moving.
It's a truly massive structure. Where you woke up, and this sandy area here, are just small parts of it.
For whatever reason, the trailer doesn't actually have subtitles to it in places.
The cage?
Also, that was just straight up angelic.
The moment you've been waiting for. Dream time!
How annoying.
We all live under someone else's command. Our bodies and emotions are not free.
One often lacks the will to choose from the remaining options.
These feelings, they're all real. But my reality wasn't. I just wanted happiness. Normal happiness.
Perhaps freedom, in the truest meaning of the word, never existed to begin with.
We don't have time to deal with gods right now. I am a different man now.
It's something I want to do.
I won't stop until I've destroyed them all. Sear this into your mind.
I can destroy the flowers with
What
this.
is your anger meant for?
It's kind of Alienware.
Let's go. We have a final fragment to reclaim.
Yeah, I've been playing it on and off, and thankfully the Automata like event didn't show too much that couldn't be implied otherwise from what I'd already seen, so yeah. to the next one. Ooh, damn. Forgot technically on this iteration, because I've been playing this on and off of my phone too. Like my actual phone as opposed to just this. Because initially trying to run this on BlueStacks even with the updates is a little rough. Where I got the other player. So yeah, about all that sand. Definitely plenty of it.
Goodness, look at these rivers of sand. I wonder how such a thing came to pass. Make sure you don't get any grit in your eyes. I wonder where all of this sand is going. Let's head for the shiny black light up there.
This game hurts my heart. Have fun. Yeah, there are some pretty good weapon and character stories that go on in here. Currently, as I think I showed before, we're like in chapter or like almost at the end of chapter 3.
But I call them dark scarecrows.
So we're catching up to that, and then we're just going forward from there.
So we'll start here.
Body rust.
A young boy of good upbringing moves across a vast wasteland. A taciturn man follows. The boy proceeds uneasily, his eyes constantly probing their surroundings, almost as if he fears they are being followed. Suddenly, a dreary town emerges from the dust. The boy suggests they take their rest, and the man nods.
Now, which one do you think is the android, then? 'Cause I think I have an idea of, like, what you're looking at visual cue-wise.
Hoping to shake the road from their weary bones.
Ah, okay.
But instead of welcome, they find a group of bounty hunters gathered at their destination. The lead hunter stares at the child, appraising him. You royalty, boy? His voice is wrath. The boy remains silent, his head hanging low.
Ooh.
Perhaps angered by the lack of response, the bounty hunter suddenly draws his gun. 2 shots ring out and fade into the dusk.
Wait a minute.
Did you see the flock of black birds that possessed the bounty hunter? They're nasty sorts who like to fly in and warp the story. Well, we are not going to let that stand, are we? Your role is to defeat them and put the story back the way it's supposed to be.
Okie.
But I suppose you already know that, don't you?
She's gonna be saying that a lot. Alright.
Perhaps angered by the lack of response, the bounty hunter suddenly draws his gun.
I think this starts us out with just like set solo stuff, unless it actually lets us use our party now. That'd be cool. Yeah, no, it's just these two. That's fine.
I shall take care of them.
Also, get used to seeing these enemies, because outside of like more unique bosses, this is typically what we're gonna be fighting. There's some other like variants here and there later on, but nothing super crazy. Very shade-like. Yeah! Although I would say they have a bit more, like, physical form to them. Maybe just, like, more gestaltish in that regard.
Having defeated the hunters, the man turns to his charge. Are you hurt, my prince? I am well, replies the boy. But remember, I am no longer a prince. With a wry smile and a touch of regret, he proposes they take their leave of the town. The man silently nods and gazes upon the boy's face.
So that must be the basics, and this is the boy's story. And that's his staff.
Your task is to fix warped memories like this in order to restore complete stories. But we also need to collect weapons like these.
Shit. Here's one thing I want to try to balance out. But I think that just spit us back out to the menu. That was quest one. Let's do that then. Oh, I actually can't balance it up. Sometimes it seems like the... Oh, here we go, actually. Wait a second. My voice is to be, like, slightly louder. Okay. I have a feeling... Hold on a second. Let me check something.
My, what a beautiful place. I can't fathom how anyone managed to construct something so large.
I have a feeling, considering the person that they had us locked in with, that, No, it's another sphere. Okay.
Well, here's the second one. Are you ready?
Oh
Wherever
yeah,
people
that's right.
gather, stories come with them. But saloons have a special ability to loosen even the tightest of lips. Such rumors are what brings the woman with the mechanical arm and leg to this place. For she is a bounty hunter in search of her prey.
Several bounty hunters have been falling under attack lately. You're a bounty hunter too, yeah? You take care out there. My husband said a strange man shot him in the woods. Fortunately, he didn't pursue, but still, it left us shaken. You know, as a youth, I was quite the gunman myself. Folks used to say I was even better than a machine soldier.
The information she obtains from the patron seems vague, but it is
Machine
more.
soldiers.
Gathering herself, she exits the saloon in pursuit of her target.
Let me out of here.
A lone bounty hunter blocks the woman's path. His breath is ragged and foul, his eyes a pair of tiny beads. Give me all your money, he howls.
Yeesh.
I'll cut down everything in my way.
So far we're introduced to 3 different people. Bodyguard, the boy, and this bounty hunter lady.
It is over in a moment. The woman's sigh is carried off by the wind. No mediocre highwayman could hope to stand against her desire for revenge. The woman heads for the forest in pursuit of her target.
We'll be learning more about her later on. Next.
We collect stories in order to regain what you have lost. But we also do it to make your wish come true. So let's keep it up. Slow and steady wins this race.
Is that another one? No. Okay.
I suppose I should tell you a little bit about the cage. It's a truly massive structure. Where you woke up, and this sandy area here, are just small parts of it. To be honest, a great deal of the cage is a mystery. I'm not even certain who gave it that name.
The interesting thing is that all of this looks like actual material too. It's not like the copied city or anything like that. But it also could have been magic. About to check on that bird after this.
In a forest near a ruined church, a man surveys his surroundings. It would appear he is searching for food. The expression on his bandaged face is clouded. The grasses rustle ominously as they part. It seems the man is not the only one searching for food.
Oh shit.
The animals in this place are lean, starving, desperate. And they will do what they must to survive.
That's just a whole ass bear.
Enemy forces sighted.
Big boy. Ah, damn, you get a lot of turns. Shit.
Evading.
Nice. Got a counter out of it. I like the way they do some of the in-between animations and stuff for that.
Having secured his prize, the man returns to the church. The sound of his worn boot heels echoes throughout the dilapidated chapel. A boy lies at the back, his face drawn and haggard.
Yakura, thank you very
Man
much
kneels
for
down
the
and
follow,
offers
appreciate
the
it.
food he collected. But the boy is too weak to hold it. His body will not allow him to accept even this meager meal. The boy tries to brush it off with a feeble smile, but the man just stares down at him in silence.
The old boy not doing that great.
But to think that poor sick child had to travel the wastes in his condition. Still, we've restored the third memory now. If we can collect the next one, it will mark the end of the staff's tale.
Next. Alright. Everyone dies the end. Not sure if you saw that bird up top or somewhere down. Oh, look at him, little bird. Out here, bird. So yeah, we gotta find some of those because they give stuff like tickets and shit. Fucking Boyds. It's actually kind of funny to see them up close. They just have big, buggy ass eyes.
Goodness, this place is nothing but stairs. I hope your little legs are okay. Still, I suppose it does allow us to see some rather lovely views.
Oh my god. They actually did make this game really pretty though, by the way.
Be sure to rest whenever you start to feel tired, child. Someone once said
Bird?
resting is the shortcut to success
Bird.
after all.
Frickin' Boyd? Where's this Boyd? Oh, Boyd. Frickin' Boyd. Thank you. So the example that they actually give you in-game about the birds is like immediately on like some of this railing here.
It's so
I always
bright
kind of
here.
assumed it would be somewhere within her
Ah, there's the
reach
fourth
for her to
one.
shoot it, but no.
We should be able to enter the final
It's a mobile
memory
game, so we
here.
can kind of just slap all over the screen whenever we want.
People who arm themselves tend to find their way into a fight. I fear you will have to face a good deal of death from now on. Are you ready?
Here we go. Time for the big
The woman who
sad.
set out from town finally arrives at a wild wood. Soon, she comes across the ruins of a once proud church. The ceiling has collapsed, the walls mere suggestions. But in the very back of the church, she finds a deteriorated clockwork soldier, as well as the corpse of a boy. As the woman approaches, the clockwork soldier suddenly rises. He levels his weapon at her and lets fly with a fearsome howl.
So considering he's already
I'll cut
boned
down
back
everything
there,
in my way.
it's already been a hot minute since he's passed. Especially since the church is also, like, pretty much nothing now. As to whether or not it got destroyed, or just crumbled over time, is a different matter though. Ooh. Hey. If you're on a fucking sliver, dude, give it up.
accesses the logs of the fallen soldier. Boy was a prince, driven from his kingdom. The clockwork soldier traveling with him was his guardian and his friend. But alas, the boy's disease worsened and he perished. Now alone, the man remained behind and continued to safeguard his charge, killing any who dared approach the body. For 100 years, the man stood watch. Their kingdom fallen, his body rust, his mind shattered. Yet still he remained to protect his friend. The woman builds a grave to mourn the pair and leaves the forest without a word.
The kingdom being fallen already is also kind of interesting because her story, that we'll get into pretty soon, is also one that involves a different kingdom then.
He was a prince who was driven away from his own country. And before breaking down, the machine tried so hard to guard his master's body. This memory marks the end of the story they left behind inside this staff. Well done, child. Do you see how the proper story is now stored inside the staff?
You got a steak. Obtained will.
That is will. One of the lost fragments that you should be collecting.
So I actually got stuff.
Up the stairs now. We still have a long way to go.
Ooh, you mentioned that, and we have a couple. Once we get to a point where things open up a little bit while we're actually in these chapter bits, so we'll be able to look. I'm not super sure. It might just be a different sort of entity, or maybe something that's more Gestalt-like under there. It would be kind of cool if it was a pod. Like, surprise! A Boyd. A Boyd was seen.
The road splits here. Mama thinks we should go right because it's the right way. But left also might be the right way.
I think these
It
both
wasn't
branch
clear
into
by
each
now.
other.
Mama doesn't actually know.
Boyd! Where are you? Should probably go back down this way anyway, just to double check things. Let's see, another one. Alright, and then that comes back around this way. Yep, we're emulating this. To be honest, I can play this on my phone, but it's pretty potato.
Oh,
So.
this weapon is... Anyway, let's get started on its restoration, shall we? I wonder what kind of story we'll find this time.
Like a different one from the one that we found?
Once, two sisters with lovely ebon hair lived in a lush and verdant land.
Okay.
They hunted for food in the forest and did their best to each support the other.
Try to go back and take a look after this one. Hey sis, guess what? Today I'm gonna hunt for food all by myself. As you can imagine, things are not going to end well with that.
The elder sister had been born in the woods. She
Also,
was an
check out the
archer
flowers
of
that they
rare
have
skill.
hanging out around here.
When their parents died, she began teaching the younger how to hunt. The younger looks up to her and wants so badly to test out her new skills. This thought fills the older sister with warmth as she follows after her sibling.
Here goes. What are you trying to shoot? That's a whole bear? Yeah.
Suddenly, the elder
Got
sibling
lunar
sees a
tears
beast
growing around
fly out
here.
from the direction of her little sister. She sets off after her at a frantic pace. The savage beast looms over the prone girl
Oh, shit.
and makes to attack. I'll cut down everything in my way.
So they're a little on the nose, because they didn't want to give her a separate model, but, you know. This is the mercenary story. Oh my god. Like, they're just weird imitations of other, like, creatures and shit, and their eyes are all fucked up. Like, it is kind of funny, it's also a little creepy, though. So, it works.
As an arrow penetrates the beast's tender flesh, it turns tail and flees. There was no way her little sister could have taken down the massive creature alone.
I was so scared, sis.
Trying to
Aw.
calm her, the woman removes her silver hairpin and places it on her sister. It is a keepsake of their mother, one the young girl has long desired. "Thanks, sis," she says, beaming. "Next time, it'll be my turn to protect you."
I mean, I mentioned it before, but I've already played up through this part and into chapter 3 a little bit, so I already know about this part.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
The story
It's
of
not gonna
Miss
get worse for
Butler
me
is
until
all
later.
about that woman. I feel like we've seen her somewhere before.
Alright, moving on.
What
On
could this
to the
black
next.
barrier be?
Wait. Void. No void. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. Alright. So these in between gates, we're able to use our regular parties and stuff in.
Miss.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
We're not gonna have to jack up our overall battle points until probably later on. What happened? What's the matter for you? Yeah, 9S is in there. 2Bs? No, that's 9S's heavy sword. Or at least the other cruel,
How can the enemy
bit.
be acting outside of the scarecrows? Well, let's just square them away as best we can as we go forward, okay?
But yeah, the Virtuous and the Cruel series is in there. And there's some other familiar weapons as well. No, the virtuous ones are white. The cruel ones tend to be like an orangish or like a darker color in general. They're like a tinge still.
Commencing mission.
So I think that's Cruel Oath. And the short ones are treaties. Maybe it was the other way around.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
Yeah, that's fair. Since it's kind of like dusk or whatever. So the Drinking Art characters in this game, since the series exists in the same world, not yet. Not yet. I would assume they'll probably get their own event at some point. They started with Automata first. I don't think we even really have anything from Replicant, or just like the first Nier in general. Visiting the something. Yeah, I think she's got the Type 40 on her.
What on earth could those dark creatures be after? I'm sorry, child. There are just so many things that Mama doesn't know. Look, something's out there.
Forgot about that though. It's definitely a giant something. What are you? Are you a fucking windfish? What the shit is that? It's hard to tell if it's actually like... I'm assuming since we don't hear giant stomping, it's actually like
What could it be?
flying.
There are so many mysteries in
It's
the
like
cage,
a
aren't
giant koi fish of death. Or not a koi fish, but a beta fish. Anything we should record its whale noises and use that as a command. Whale!
This second scarecrow will hold another part of the weapon's memory.
Hello? Okay, I got stuck for a second. Nicole caught the general discomfort. It's going alright. How goes it for you, Emo Nikki? What was lost? Oh boy.
Done with their hunting, the black-haired sisters decide to return home before dusk.
Time for more sad shit.
The younger has caught a small bunny, and the elder a large boar. It is a typical day of hunting for the pair. They only notice the disaster when they come to the hill that overlooks the town.
Suddenly, all those flowers
Flames
seem to
fill
be
up
gone.
forth, and the chilling snaps of distant gunfire can be heard. The woman immediately thinks of the war that is raging in the neighboring nation.
The village is under siege.
She tells her sister to stay put and goes to see what has happened for herself.
Be careful.
The town is oddly still, save for the incessant crackle of flames. The woman gasps as she takes in the grisly sight before her. All she
Everything
can see
got
are
wiped.
bodies. Bodies. Bodies.
Over here! A survivor! Man, didn't waste any time.
Commencing mission.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
It's cool that we're actually able to use our stuff for this.
I've got enough death for everyone.
Yeah, some of them also don like different bits of clothing and stuff too.
After defeating the soldier, she hears a voice. Her worried sister has followed her into the fires of the village.
Oh lord.
Enemy soldiers cry out all around them.
Seize them! There's 2 of them! For the kingdom! Uh-oh. Sis, we had to run!
As the woman feared, the war from the nearby nation has finally found them.
Ooh! Oh boy.
Strange and fearsome men surround them on all sides. Impact, heat, pain. Her little sister screams. As the woman's consciousness flickers out, 2 words from a soldier reach her ears. Sort them.
I see. This weapon speaks of war. I suppose it's rare for the memories in these weapons to be peaceful ones. That's a little sad.
So move on to the next one. So we'll be finding out what they mean by sorting once we get through all this.
I'll cut down everything in my way.
So far so good with this team though. It's definitely one of the lower ones that we have, but 2B has a lot better growth rate just because of her rarity, so.
Don't let up.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
Yeah, final wave is actually pretty quick. Those combos definitely came in. I get through this one, and then I think after this we should be able to get the next bit of story.
I'll cut down everything in my way.
Damn.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminated.
Actually, now that I think about it,
I've
to
got
be we
enough
actually had the
death for
grind
everyone.
some of our other stuff to get, so she's actually a lower rarity than 9S is. So her growth should be about the same as our lady on the right here. There's a boy around
This
here.
room is a bit strange, isn't it? Can you see down there? There are so many paths going every which way. It's like a maze. I wonder where the other paths lead.
Top right platform? Let's over this side then. Oh, there you are. Frickin' Boyd! Good one. Good one. Got all these punk-ass Boyds everywhere. Alrighty. Time for the next one. They will be sorted.
The black-haired woman regains consciousness in a world enveloped by haze. She hears a faint voice.
Please help me.
It sounds similar to her little sister's voice, but also different. Wrong. My sister. I have to save my sister. The woman's dim memories slowly become clear. The blow she'd taken, her sister screaming, the soldier's words. Her only sister, her only family. She must save her. As she runs, the woman's world is enveloped in a shimmering wall of white. When the woman wakes anew, she is lying on the floor of an unfamiliar prison.
Now we're looking a little
Something is
more
terribly
familiar,
wrong.
unfortunately.
She looks down at her body and stifles a gasp. One arm and one leg have been replaced by mechanical substitutes.
which is an interesting
and her
parallel
black
to
hair
something
is
else.
now as white as snow. Where is my sister? She dashes off through the dim prison in search of her missing sibling.
Girl,
Dispatches both her cell door and its guard with equal.
Get
Only then
outta
does
here.
she realize the truth. Her body is now a terrible weapon. As this knowledge sinks in, darkness envelops her.
So yeah, essentially, we're a really fucked up cyborg. As to why it also changed our hair white, no idea.
Think you can stop me? Ha!
That's true. Definitely denotes protagonist of sorts.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
We're being on the nose enough for their taste. Yeah, just had to cement it in, right?
When she interrogates the dying guard about her sister, he grins madly and says, "Our kingdom will invade all. Every country will bend the knee to our might. Then we'll experiment on the survivors and turn them into beautiful killing machines. Oh yes, they will be sorted."
A failure.
These final words, the soldier dies. The woman begins to run. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. She repeats the mantra as she runs, praying that somehow her sister has escaped this fate.
And also a
The
little feel.
memories of the woman in this weapon. She lost her arm and leg because of her dark past.
Moving on. You know, I didn't really think about it when I was doing it initially, but yeah, this actually has a fair amount of these encounter gates
I'll
going
cut down
on.
everything in my way.
Trying to burn through that stamina a little bit. They've actually been barfing out a lot of items, to be fair though. Like, unless you're just straight up, like, mad grinding. Or, like, maybe if you come after the initial, like, launch celebration, it'll be a bit harder.
Weakening enemy.
Hey. because it's stuff we didn't do initially.
Think you can stop me? Ha!
I've got enough death for everyone.
She just soloed both of those.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
I also still love whipping out that dynamic music where they can. Or I guess in the most basic sense anyway. Crazy thing is that everything is halved right now too. Oh,
What?
it's like a really edgy Heartless. Hello. What? What happened? Oh, didn't like that.
That was...
So I kind of sort of spoiled myself a little bit on that when I was watching Migsby stream earlier, but I don't know everything, so. We'll be learning more about that later for sure.
Looks like that monster ran off somewhere.
Hmm.
Anyway, the next memory we find will be the last for this part of the cage. We're almost there, child. Just keep going.
Jesus. Look who's coming. Bird. There's a flippin' bird. Bird. What the fuck? Bird? Get out of here. That's a huge bitch, by the way. That nice. Is it part of the body? No. There's just another tower behind it. That's a bird. No. Fires of her revenge.
As the woman exits her prison, she beholds a town stained red with both flame and blood. She is in a strange land, one she does not recognize. But
Never
she
mind that the
must
dead
find
bodies
her
are kind of the
sister.
same.
The woman runs and runs and runs.
Hey, hey, one of the failures has escaped! I said, oh my god, don't let me fight it by myself.
Commencing mission.
Nice.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
Those two and one more. Happen here? No. Mostly because, like, that segment of Nier hasn't really been covered yet,
That's
so...
the child. Upon hearing the wail, she dashes toward the sound.
Yeah. What fun. What fun.
The thing standing
God.
before her was once her sister.
Yo,
But now,
all of her
trace
limbs
of
got
her former
converted.
self has been lost to the sorting.
Kill, kill. I want to kill. In fact, it may even be that the only part of her that's left is her fucking head. Lord knows. Forget if we actually get like a full render here or not. Ah, yeah, that's fucked up.
Commencing mission.
Ooh. In one go, too. Holy shit. Sister.
Her transformed little sister trembles, as if trying to remember something.
I got eyes on two failures. Just like before.
The moment her sister is
Too
cut
late.
down in front of her, the woman loses all control.
Oh, that guy. That dude
Even
is
when her enemies are no more than
thoroughly
little
dead.
hunks of flesh, she cannot stop. Finally, the woman cradles her sister in her arms and gazes at her blood-stained face.
So if you click on her in the loadout menu, and you check out some of her vocal things, she actually warns you that if you see it, if she sees anyone of the kingdom,
Once dark as
she's
night
not liable
itself,
for whatever it
is
is she
now
does
pure
afterwards.
white.
She loses control just like she does
Yet the
here.
hairpin still glinted from atop the sister's head. The woman was alone. Her fate was sealed. And so she swore a vow to her sister. The fires of her revenge would rage until they consumed the entire kingdom.
I will say, I do kind of wonder how
People
much
need
time...
goals and hopes in order to live their lives. And
had
for
passed
her,
between her
revenge was itself a form of hope.
being converted and then running into the Clockwork Soldier. I don't know if that's ever like specified or not. You got Hope back.
Hope.
It's from the
Spirit of
time that
desire and the drive to move forward.
the child dies to when she finds the Clockwork Soldier is like a century,
there are still
but
many things you need to reclaim. Come now. The next fragment is waiting for you.
Choose color advantages that are unknown. So she's just feeling I had no name for. Right. There's that that time span between his death and him defending the body, so. Boyd.
What are those things up ahead?
Other Boyds.
My, bird statues.
Frickin' Boyds. Whoops.
It broke.
Ooh.
I do hope no one saw that.
No one saw none of that. Frick these Boyds. Get them out of here.
This building is so big. It's just like a castle. Let's fix the memory in the Scarecrow and then invite ourselves in, shall we?
I mean, that'd be kind of funny if it was, but I don't think so. It's a little far out.
This gun. Anyway, let's get started restoring this story, shall we?
It's time to find out the story of our mechanical buddy. Our robo-pal. The Clockwork Man.
A mechanical soldier sleeps amidst the detritus of a castle storehouse. Time has no meaning here. A minute is as an age. Until the day he meets the boy.
Stay put, you. Keep quiet. Why they put him in here with him, or if they didn't expect him to like activate, I couldn't really say.
Let me rest. Seeking to help, the man begins rooting around to prepare a makeshift bed.
So a couple interesting things. First of all, these remind me of like Mr. Handy's. We see like a Clockwork Soldier like frame maybe back there. But also, there's like a stubby or something right here. There's like old... unless that's fucking R2-D2 or some shit. But, it seems like there's old, like, machine frames back there. Dull fabric scrap. Hmm. Oh, also one of them wakes up.
A discarded weapon suddenly activates.
It's a frickin' robot. Oh lord. What is that? Ancient gear frame. Huh, that's interesting. Oh god, there's scooters! Yay, my favorite. Spiders. Ugh. Nope. Yeah, our buddy here, not crazy with the speeds. The speed stat. I saw this and immediately put the game down, like, nope. Yay! I'm done with it. Yeah, I don't think the googly eyes help too much. They have a little acid blaster. Got a missile launcher in their butt.
The man manages to assemble a crude resting place from the storehouse junk.
Like, I'll be honest, spiders freak me the fuck out, but like, not that badly.
The boy wearily makes his way to the bed.
Which thankfully means I didn't have to put in the weird mods to replace the spiders in Skyrim either.
After studying the man for a moment, he begins to ask him questions.
Floating revolvers.
The man explains he was unable to carry out orders and discarded as defective. The boy responds that as his disease has grown worse, he too has been cast aside.
Time to make another heir.
The name the man gives is that of the first model of clockwork soldiers. I was also a first once, says the boy. First in line to the throne, but no more. You and I are much alike, says the boy with a sad smile. Weary of talking, the boy finally falls asleep. The man simply sits, keeping the boy's peaceful expression in the corner of his eye.
You know, all that and he didn't even actually lay down. Could have just kept the chair. Shit.
This is the story of a gun-wielding mechanical soldier. I suppose these are memories of when he first met the boy with the staff.
What's going on extra? Tommy into getting it. Oh no, such tragedy.
Let's head over to the castle.
And he was just struggling with this feeling. Oh my god. Oh no.
This isn't a terribly welcoming atmosphere.
Oh, that's a fuck ton of boys. Come on, get on with it. Load, I believe. Oh, that seems like we're just hitched up now. Uh-oh. Come on, don't do it to me. Get in there. Ah, shit. You assume you may have a problem. Oh. So it's not the emulator itself, I think it's just the game hitched up. That sucks. I have to go out and back in. Ooh, we were doing so good too. Alright, hold on. Let's try this again. Although we're gonna have to try to ballpark, I guess, after the first one? Which might put us a little bit ahead of where we were, but if we can do it before that gate and just try the encounter again, that might be alright. Ooh, let's see if it loads this time then. Now we'll just have to go in and say to not load the suspended data. There we go.
This isn't a terribly welcoming atmosphere.
Alright, round 2. I want to at least get through the gunman story today. We can, if we really had to, we can pick up after that. Tomorrow.
I'll cut down everything in my way.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
So once we catch up to, like, where we are in general, like that area you saw when we first started, we can start looking at some of the other, like, weapons and menus and the events and all that. Like, depending on how long it could take, I might try to catch, like, back up to that point and just make this one a little bit of a longer one.
It's the privilege of youth to move forward by breaking everything in your path.
Well, if you put it in such a grim light, jeez. Still trying to keep an eye out for at least some voids, but I definitely don't have as keen an eye for spotting them. The inside here, well, I guess this is like one of the keeps or something. I shall harbor no qualm about obliterating their visage. Voids are the enemy.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
The fact that this spider has like a weird, like, all of them had this weird like layer of dust. Uh-oh. Hello. Video game? Oh no! What the hell? What is the matter for you? I'm glad you find that funny. By that I mean not at all. Get back in there, you.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
I saw that.
I wonder if changing the emulation model
I've got
might make it a bit better.
for everyone.
I'll have to mess with that off stream. The fucked up part is that this is still like a smoother experience compared to BlueStacks though. Like, we actually got through a fair bit of that before things started to hitch up. Even with the initial like
It would be
boot
much
up issues.
easier if we could just crash through those awful black barriers.
I might have actually gotten one that was here. I don't remember actually. Hello? Boyd? No?
Now this is an odd room. Well, let's keep
Oh
going.
lord. Oh, that's right, we gotta get to those switches.
It's a waterfall of sand. Looks like the path goes through it. Maybe there's a way to stop the flow.
Perhaps indeed.
Is that a switch?
Boop da button.
The sand stopped. Oh, how lovely. Now we can move past it. There's a switch here, too. Give it a push.
That's another one.
Ah, this one opens up the first path. How clever.
Now, if only I could just jump down, but you know. Few is many things, including very tiny, but
Path is open now.
athletic, not so much. No. Up. Get on. And over there.
Found you, Mr. Scarecrow. Let's get to restoring this memory.
Where's her down by the leash? Just grab her like, up you go. I don't know, I'm pretty sure even someone her size, lava would just sink. His song.
The cold room burdens the boy, and his condition worsens. The man looks about and sees what appears to be a bottle of medicine. But upon taking it in hand and looking at the label, he realizes it is actually a weapon of poison gas.
Well, that's nice. Wait, why is that something that could go wrong with the story? Oh. Suddenly explodes! Uh-oh. There we go. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods, but at least we started up here.
Think you can stop me? Ha!
That's a mistake you only get to make once. Not wrong about that one.
Not likely.
Ooh, nice.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
I've got enough death for everyone.
Okay.
The man continues to search for medicine that might aid the boy. It seems the storehouse expands beyond the junk pile pressed against the wall.
How convenient. What kind of makeshift prison is this? They literally just threw him in.
He retrieves a bottle from the shelf and returns to the bed where the boy waits.
I don't like that it didn't say what it was, though.
The boy looks at the man's gift and chuckles. Empty bottles won't cure me, I'm afraid, he says as the man stares at him blankly. Still, says the boy. He suddenly stands, as if a thought has come to mind. The boy places a candle in the bottle, turning it into a small lamp. He then begins to sing in a small, quiet voice. By the power of his will does the hero draw his sword, to stop the mean advances of the darkness in the world. He will use this light to lead away the people from fear's horde. It is the song of a hero who challenges evil in order to save his people. The lamp flickers warmly as the man thinks. Thank you, he says finally. Those words should not have existed in the man, and yet somehow they did. The boy's shocked stare slowly becomes a smile, bright enough to last a lifetime. In the corner of a frigid room, these two companions are comforted by the same warmth.
Maybe time. Try to bust out of here pretty soon.
imagine you're getting used to this by now. Wonderful. Let's keep it up.
Keep on keeping on.
Commencing mission.
Sturdy little bastard. Yeesh.
I've got enough death for everyone.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
Still, despite some of the hiccups, we're making a decent clip here.
Need some fighting spirit!
I could do this one.
I'll cut down everything in my way.
The first form of Shin Godzilla. I can see that a little bit. Big haunch and kinda got a stubby neck.
Miss.
Ooh, damn. The fact that their heads all kind of stick out like that's a little weird. Even the spiders are like that. Like really goofy like puppets or whatever. Alrighty. Upwards and onward.
These stairs look terribly
Oh, that
unsafe.
perspective shift.
It does seem like an effective way to keep intruders out, though. The cage is just filled with mysteries, isn't it? Oh, that's...
Oh, hello.
It's the monster that attacked us earlier.
Still chilling, huh?
Are you going to chase it?
It's kind of in the way.
It's almost like it's calling to us.
It's a big old bug. Bird.
It's not here. Well, let's take care of the scarecrow for now.
Look at you. Are you a mandatory bird, or did I just like blow past that? I guess I was just blowing past it. To face a father. War again? Where this time?
Soldiers' voices drift in from outside. The kingdom has once again declared war.
We throwing down, bitches.
The boy looks at the man and opens his heart. He once lacked the courage to stand against his father, and had stayed complicit. But now he burns to stop the king, and protect his people from the horrors of war. The passion in his eyes is evident. The man breaks through the door, and the boy follows after.
It's interesting that they don't really think much of him activating in that prison either, which means they probably were barely watching them. Their throne room is this way. Hurry! We gotta get there, let's go. Oh shit. You there! Halt! They just had straight up... Is that a fucking bullpup? What is that? Stuff like that is kind of why I wish that the things that we were fighting were actually like those characters most of the time.
I'll cut down everything.
But at least
in
the
my
bosses
way.
are unique. Since we're really just supposed to be fighting the disruptions in the story, not necessarily doing those fights themselves.
We've got this.
Come on now, one more for the road.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
Actually, here's this already.
Don't let up.
Come on, good enough. Yeah. Let's see, some of these guys got a little heft to them. I was gonna say, was that maybe silence? But it might actually be something else. Some other sort of status, maybe darkness. We're almost there. Come on.
As a divine light shines
Time for a little rebellion.
The king glares down at the two interlopers. In a bold voice, the boy shouts up at the king. By my name as the firstborn, I propose this war be ended. In that moment, he is just like the hero of his song. With a sneer, the king looks to the clockwork soldier and says,
Kill this worthless child.
The man freezes, but he cannot disobey his master, for that is how he was programmed.
Ooh.
With a shaking hand, he readies his gun.
No. I can't kill him, or can you?
The boy stares straight at the man from the end of the barrel. Unable to resist his orders, the man's finger hovers over the trigger. In a final, desperate move, the man shuts down his own motor circuits. His finger lets go of the trigger, and he falls to his knees before the boy. It is the first time he has resisted orders of his own volition, all to save the boy. With an animalistic cry, the king rises up before the pair.
This dude is not pleased. Actually, his design for this is really cool too. Kind of reminds me of one of the designs that we saw in Octopath. Yeah, throwing it all. Bam.
Commencing mission.
Also the mustache or like the facial hair is very like Rama-like.
Need some fighting spirit.
I was gonna say, despite this being like our lower battle power group, it's also not really doing a whole lot of damage to us since it's still relatively early. Most of these guys are leveled the way they are, because they were doing some of the event stuff.
My thanks.
Time to let them have it.
How's that feel?
Damn it!
He's like on a sliver. 350 in a dream. Ah, took him. Oh, you gonna clutch it out? Wow, at the last second. I should have got his bigger move out sooner. Yeah, we're definitely pushing it with this group now.
The king's roar brings soldiers running as he demands they tear the traitors apart. The man seizes the boy's hand, and they begin to run from the castle. For the first time in his existence, the man finally has a will of his own.
A memory of war. So that's why that poor child was driven from his country. The king wished for control, while the prince prayed for peace and happiness. They were both thinking of their country. So why did it have to end up so?
Why indeed. And this is where things get a little bit
like
fucked up. Like more than it already is.
Excuse me, miss. I've been waiting here for a really long time. But my mommy still hasn't come. Oh, I miss my mommy so much, and I was hoping you could put me in that scarecrow like you did with Mr. Monster.
I'm sorry. Mama can't help you. Let's be off.
Yeah. I was able to talk to him before. But it seems to be implied that, much like Fio or any of the other, like, humans here, he's just kind of been here since he was a kid. But has aged that much already. I think we're pretty close to where we actually were initially here. That being said, we might have to go out and back in and get a group that's a little bit tougher.
Everything in my way.
Ending.
Missed.
So, for the bounty hunter in particular, we actually got a higher rarity version of her, but the other two are still at 2-star.
Thanks.
Should be able to wrap these guys up pretty well.
Don't let up. Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
Power-up dungeons? Oh yeah. Like that's in the event tab and all that. And because they're actually doing the launch event right now, they usually give you a lot of power-up stuff too. So if you want to specifically go with this group, we can just kind of jack them up a lot. Kind of want to throw 9S in here too, though. He's actually one of the better ones that we nabbed on this account.
Why is there a person in a place like this?
Wait a second. Did we get turned around?
Excuse me, miss. I've been waiting here for a really long time. But my mommy still hasn't come. Oh, I miss my mommy so much, and I was hoping you could put me in that scarecrow like you did with Mr. Monster.
I'm sorry. Mama can... Let's be off.
Oh, you know what? I think I know why. So we need to get out of this. Because I think where we're actually at in the world now is like right past where that was. Yeah, here comes the other... This is all the other statues and stuff that were ahead of us. That wasn't too bad. But that's also because I wasn't really that far up. I think that guy's still back here. There he is.
Mommy.
Leave him be.
Alright, so from here, we're pretty much let loose. Let's try to take a peek at what we got up ahead then. Looks like one more gate. And then... final one? For this area? What are we talking in terms of, Justice Force 9800. Yeah, this group will work. Figure since we're already here, we might as well try to knock out this one and then we'll stop after we get that last scarecrow up there. Uh-oh. Oh no! Horrible stop now. Damn. Why do you do this to me, game? Why you do this? What up? see if we can get through it. Yeah, apologies for that. Hopefully as we get other updates and I mess with this more, it might be a bit smoother. Alright. There.
Enemy forces sighted.
So at this point we also have something else, which is like this little floating assistant or companion here that has its own stats and buffs and its own attack gauge on the side here.
This will give us an advantage.
I've got enough death for everyone.
Try to focus some of these guys. This will be ready in a sec.
Here we go.
I have no time for this.
Time to fan it out.
Eliminating hostile.
Go!
Okay, gave us the speed buff. Nice.
Obstructing enemy.
Alright, one more to go here. Nice. Bear Patch. Companion skill versus Energy Ripper. Okay. Slap that on somebody.
It seemed like that old man knew about you and the monster. And he spoke like a child. I wonder what happened to him.
Part of me still kind of thinks that she also knows.
This is the last part of the mechanical soldier's story. Let's see how the memory ends, shall we?
Alrighty. Let's see. So on the dot 10. You can do overkill for the last one. The night it all began.
The escapees arrive at the town outside the castle and find people in a panic over the impending war.
And they recognize him. I'm fine. Let's go. That boy's from the royal family. We're not pawns at your damn war. Stop taking things away from us. Don't let them escape. Oh shit. This is where you die, traitors. Uh-oh. Hello? Not a good time for that. Yeah, we're almost in the home stretch too, that's annoying. Actually, I don't know how that's gonna work, because technically we didn't get into the fight. I don't know if we'll just be able to skip that or not. Like to check out. Still sweet. Skip. There.
I'm not afraid.
I have visual confirmation on the target. Let's get after him!
What are we looking at here? Oh jeez, the king again.
Kill them all.
Oh shit, you know what? I didn't think that... I thought we still had that other assistant on this build.
Somehow, the two managed to
It's
escape
always
beyond
somehow.
the borders of the kingdom. Looking back on their former home, they each make an oath. The boy swears to travel the nation as its prince and bring an end to the war, while the man promises to guard the prince until his dying moment. Together, they will sever the marionette strings the kingdom has bound them to. With determination in their hearts, they take their first steps into the future.
Alright.
They both fought. The boy for peace, and the machine for him. That must be how their memories were intertwined. This is the third fragment.
What do we got? Teen Prayer. Restore a solitary pistol level 4.
Prayer of all emotions. I believe this one might be especially human. It is a heart that fills in the blanks of a vague future. Well, Do you feel anything different? My, that's wonderful. Let's keep this up and get those fragments back. Then your wish can come true too.
Wish, huh? What could it be? We'll try to find that out next time. So that's gonna be the basic gist of it. Ooh, it's a memento. And from here we can also start messing around with other menus and stuff, but that'll all be for next time. So until then, this is goodbye to you two people. Talk to you guys later.